Hey everyone, welcome. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us for this explainer. We are diving headfirst into something truly mind-bending today. We're decoding scroll 84 of the Mahaprajnapa Paramita Sastra. Now, I know you're familiar with the general terrain of Eastern philosophy, but this text, it goes incredibly deep. It tackles the absolute nature of reality, emptiness, the perfection of wisdom, the whole shebang. If you've ever felt just totally weighed down by the world, or wondered what seeking the truth actually means, well, you're gonna love this. Let's just jump right in. Right off the bat, we're hit with this massive existential paradox. Subhuti, this brilliant student, asks the Buddha a question that honestly I'm sure has crossed all of our minds at some point. The big question. If reality is entirely empty, why do we practice or strive for anything? I mean, if it's all an illusion, if nothing is truly created, why bother? Why meditate? Why do good deeds? Why try to reach enlightenment at all? Isn't the spiritual practice itself just another empty illusion? It's the ultimate why bother, right? And the Buddhist response? It literally flips how we understand reality totally upside down. Okay, let's dive into this first major concept. All dharmas are illusions. So the Buddha gives Subhuti this incredibly radical response. He essentially says, look, ordinary people suffer precisely because they cling. They treat things like they're solid and real. They hold on to those five aggregates, physical form, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, as if they're absolute truths. People even treat enlightenment like it's a shiny gold trophy you can just win and stick on your mantle. But then, the Buddha drops this absolute bombshell of a quote. He says, I truly attained supreme enlightenment, yet there is nowhere I abide. Wow, with his enlightened vision, his five eyes, he is seeing that even supreme enlightenment isn't some physical object you can grab hold of. There is literally no solid ground anywhere. To really hammer this home, the text gives us this brilliant metaphor. Imagine a magician conjures up a phantom, right? Just a complete illusion. And then, that phantom goes around saving other phantoms. To anyone watching, it looks like real actions are happening. Teachings are being given. Beings are being saved. But ultimately, it's all just smoke and mirrors. The text makes this incredible argument that because all dharmas, all phenomena, are fundamental illusions, the Buddha and the phantom are basically no different. They both act, they both teach, but neither possesses a fixed inherent reality. Which naturally leads us right into our next point, names and false appearances. So you might be wondering, if everything is an illusion, including the Buddha himself, why do we even bother using words like suffering or enlightenment to guide our lives? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the genius of how the Buddha teaches. He operates on two distinct levels of truth. On one side, you have the ultimate truth. This is the raw, unfiltered reality. It's totally formless, it's empty, and it completely defies human language. You literally cannot put it into a box. But then, on the other side, we have conventional truth. This is the realm of names, labels, and the structured teachings used as practical guides. The Buddha is so skillful that he uses these everyday worldly labels to guide us, but he does it without ever contradicting or destroying that formless ultimate truth. And here's a quote that really bridges the gap. Follow worldly conventions with names and forms, but have no place of attachment. This ancient advice is just insanely relevant to us right now. Think about all the labels we attach to ourselves every single day. Our job titles, our political boxes, our anxieties, our personal identities. The text is telling us, hey, follow those worldly conventions. Use the names and forms because, yeah, we need them to function in society. But do not attach to them. We can navigate our daily lives and use these labels as practical tools without letting them suffocate us. Once you truly realize these identities are ultimately empty, guess what? They completely lose their power to make you suffer. So moving on, let's look at reverence and merit. Naturally, if you're a skeptic, you're probably asking, okay, if the Buddha is just an illusion, does worshiping or practicing actually do anything? Does it yield any real merit? Well, the text walks us through this beautiful, cascading progression to prove a massive point. First, imagine worshiping a real, living, breathing Buddha. Okay, now step it down. Imagine revering that magically conjured phantom Buddha. Step it down again, honoring a simple clay or mud statue. Even further, playfully tossing a single flower up into the air out of respect. And finally, step 5, just simply saying the words Namo Buddha, paying homage to the Buddha. The text argues that because the true, empty nature of reality is exactly the same across the board, the actual physical object you are revering, it literally doesn't matter at all. It all boils down to this. Pure intention yields infinite merit. It's the pure intention, that genuine reverence in your heart, that connects you to the true nature of all dharmas. Honestly, whether you're offering a massive, lavish feast to a physical master, or you're just speaking a quiet word of respect to the empty sky, if your intention is pure, the merit you generate is absolutely boundless. It is such a profoundly democratizing way to look at spiritual practice, isn't it?
Let's see how this builds into our next section, the 3 ultimate wisdoms.
So how do different practitioners actually navigate this totally illusory world? The text lays out 3 distinct types of wisdom. First up, we have Sarvajna. This is held by the Shravaka and Pratyeka Buddha practitioners. They have a good, solid baseline grasp of the general characteristics of reality and emptiness. Then, stepping up, we have path knowledge, which belongs to the Bodhisattva. Now, this isn't just theory anymore. This is a practical, working mastery of all the different paths needed to actually save sentient beings. And finally, the big one, omniscience, held only by the Buddha. This is the absolute, seamless, unmoving understanding of the ultimate, formless reality and every single microscopic conventional detail, all at the exact same time. What I find absolutely incredible here is the role of the Bodhisattva who operates with that path knowledge. They engage in what we can call a noble delay. They fully understand emptiness, sure, but they look around at a world that is suffering and they say, you know what? I'm not leaving yet. They must purify the Buddha land. They must mature and save other sentient beings. They are literally intentionally delaying their own final, peaceful detachment into ultimate truth until their work helping others is completely done. I mean, talk about the ultimate act of heroic compassion within an illusory world. So the crucial point is, how does one actually pull this off? How do we cut through all these illusions? That brings us to Prajna Paramita. Prajna Paramita. This is the perfection of wisdom. It's defined as the supreme crossing to the other shore. But how does it actually work? Well, it works by meticulously breaking down all dharmas, every physical thing, every mental thought, down to their absolute microscopic level, only to reveal that, at their core, they completely lack any solid reality. It's this unshakable, formless power, and the really cool part, because it is totally empty, the text notes that whoever practices Prajnaparamita is completely safe. You can't be harmed by demons, by external forces, or by negative intentions. Why? Because you simply cannot strike or corrupt empty space. There's nothing there to hit. The text shares this incredibly profound metaphor for this. It says Prajnaparamita is like empty space. Think about it. By itself, empty space can't actively help you, and it can't harm you either. It doesn't have a specific meaning or non-meaning. And yet, absolutely all action, all growth, every single step toward enlightenment has to happen within it. It is literally the formless foundation that allows all of reality to exist and dance. Which brings us to the climax of the scroll. Non-attainment is attainment. So Subhuti is really wrestling with all of this. He asks the Buddha, look, if we can't grasp at reality using our normal dualistic methods, but we also can't use non-dualistic methods, how in the world do we ever gain this ultimate omniscience? And the Buddha delivers the ultimate punchline of Scroll 84. He says, non-attainment is the true attainment. Seriously, let that sink in. The very moment you stop aggressively grasping for enlightenment, as if it's some object to be won, a prize to hoard, or some final destination to arrive at, in that exact moment of completely letting go, you've truly achieved it. And that brings us to the end of our explainer, but really, it's just the beginning of your own reflection. I want to leave you with a question to chew on today. What label, what identity, or what specific meaning are you fiercely clinging to right now? And how might applying this perfection of wisdom, viewing that very label as a useful but ultimately empty illusion, finally set you free? It's a lot to think about. Thank you so much for exploring this absolutely incredible ancient wisdom with me. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll catch you in the next one.